Hello and welcome to healthyhouseplants.com, where we teach you all about gardening in the great indoors. Today's video is sponsored by our Amazon affiliate link, which you'll see in the comments section below. So today I'm going to talk to you about variegated foliage, plants with variegated foliage. The really cool thing about plants with variegated foliage is that, and there are some plants with variegated flowers as well, and what's really cool about them is you can get plants with variegated foliage like this very pretty Chinese evergreen here, and it actually simulates flowers. So it looks like when you're glancing around your houseplant kingdom, when you have variegated plants, especially with colors that may be in the floral range, it actually looks like you've got flowering plants in your home and you aren't. So, and you don't. And maybe you have other ones like African violets, but this just gives a really floral look to your home. I have another video where I talk about also using variegated foliage to decorate your home. Decorating with houseplants. So I really like that. I like the different colors, the different color ranges, like this croton here. So you have the some different colors in that, the deeper jewel tones, deeper greens, and things like pinkish and red and maroon colors. So you can do quite a bit just with variegated foliage plants. Now, so what I do have sometimes readers and viewers ask me, where does the variegation come from? Well, variegation in leaf color generally comes from a lack of green pigment, so chlorophyll in some of the plant cells. And so that happens. So it's not necessarily an adaptation to its environment, but it's really a result of cell mutation. And it can be an inherited genetic trait in the plants themselves. So if it's genetic, the color change is going to remain stable. So that means if you propagate, say you propagate this croton here, then what's going to happen is you're going to get the same plant again and again and again. So that can apply to plants that have green leaves with irregular markings and even other colors as we've shown here. So now, a random mutation, however, it will also show up as a variegation. So, however, what happens with the random ones is when you propagate, you might not necessarily get the same plant again. So plant breeders know these various things, of course, and what they do is they will propagate the ones that they know are going to produce the same plant, but they will also work with the ones that don't to see what happens and experiment on them as well, and that's how they found out these various things that that I'm mentioning here. So and also with those random mutations, when they do propagate, they would, in order to try to continue that cycle of that same plant, they would only propagate from shoots or stems or leaves that are the color that they want. So they wouldn't use, for instance, a leaf in another that was green on the same plant, because they're going to get that green plant. So that's something interesting to keep in mind. Now, another reason why plants can have a variegation is from a viral infection. This is very common actually in roses, which will get a strange patterning on their leaves from viral infections. That will show up discolored leaves or different parts of the leaf. That's more rare with houseplants, and it also is not very stable at all, so generally not something that that breeders would use to create more. However, as I'm sure has happened, when they find very beautiful plants, they will try it just to see. So that gives you a little overview of where the variegation comes from. Now I'm going to show you some more of these plants, which are really cool. So this, believe it or not, is a pothos. A lot of times you see the pothos in a limey green or a darker green leaf. This is a very cool variegated pothos. I love this plant. The creamy mixed with the green, really, really, really gorgeous. Also, we have here, many Dracaenas are variegated. This guy here has a very nice limey with dark green on the edges, which is so cool. Very similar to that, we have Lucy, our lovely spider plant, who is his star of some videos, being revived, and she's doing really well. Spider plants are notorious for having gorgeous variegated leaves with the cream down the center, and then you have the green striping on the outer side of the leaf. Generally speaking, the darker color is on the outer side of the leaf and the lighter colors on the inside. However, the great thing about variegated foliage is that you will find that to be the opposite, such as this very cool Dracaena here. You will see the lime green is on the outside, the darker green is on the inside. Same here with this lovely ivy, heterohelix we got here. Great, lovely yellowy color on the outside of the oak-shaped leaf, darker green on the inside. Same here too with some more of these Dracaenas. So there you go. There's different shapes of leaves to go with this variegation, so you can really have a fun time with the various variegations. Also here, this guy, arrowhead plant, I have a video on this one, and you can see, if you look closely here, there is a very cool pinky color variegation along the midrib of the plant and in the veining of the plant. Some plants will do that with veining as well. Their veins will be darker or lighter than the rest of the leaf. That also can be a sign of chlorosis, so lack of iron. So keep that in mind. If a plant wasn't doing that before and starts to do it, that doesn't mean you're getting a variegated plant necessarily. It may mean that it's a mineral deficiency. So here we go with a African violet. Gorgeous here with this African violet, as you can see, these very, very pretty variegated flowers. I love these flowers. We've got the purple, dark purple on the outside, and dark purple on the inside, white margins on the outside. So you can get lots of gorgeous variegated flowers as well. So that is, like I said, a real good collection here of the variegated leaves. There are now not every species of plant has variegated forms. However, a lot of species do, like the Dracaenas, like the African violet flowers, like the Chinese evergreen. Aglaonema is the botanical on this one with the pink and green. But that doesn't mean if you get a plant that's all one color that it's going to turn. It just means you're going to want to look for the ones that are already variegated when you get them or when you propagate them as well. So some things to keep in mind in terms of keeping the variegation strong in the plants: good lighting. So you want to give the plant the ideal lighting that it requires. So for instance, a lot of these are medium light plants. Most of them are. African violet, you want to grow in a northern window to get it to bud up and then put it throughout the house until it's done flowering. The Dracaenas, medium light. So none of these get real strong light. The pothos, same thing. So if you were to give a plant the incorrect light, say you were giving a variegated plant too much light, you're going to get burn on the leaves, so that will come out as black or brown spotting on the leaves. And also the variegation may go away. It may lighten up overall because the plant's getting too much light. And if you were to give the plant not enough light, then it will tend to revert to green. So it could revert to getting, the variegation could revert to getting more green basically revert and just become more green foliage, new green foliage coming up. So keep that in mind if you start to lose some variegation. Make sure you get the plant into the correct lighting. If you don't have enough lighting, get some full spectrum lights to get that coming back. Another thing that could happen is it is a random mutation plant that has been propagated and it is reverting. So that's another consideration that is a possibility if you look and say, okay, I'm doing everything right, the lighting's right, I'm watering on time, I'm feeding, etc. Fertilizing, while not necessarily won't necessarily give the plants variegation, it will create a healthier plant, and the healthier the plant, the more likely it will be to remain nicely variegated. So those are some tips there for keeping your plants, your pretty variegated plants, as pretty as they can be. Well, thank you for stopping by today. Please leave any comments about any indoor gardening tutorials you'd like to see. And remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video.